You pray. You seek to project yourself onto a creator, humanising it, giving understanding and emotions akin to yours. You give it eyes to guide you, ears to listen to your pains, and arms to comfort you. You've created a God in your likeness, as an aid to your understanding and purpose. When you choose to pray to God, you're immersed and enveloped in a terrestrially derived panacea, and not the warm embrace of the Creator that you crave. In creating prayer and giving God a more recognisable human face, you feel less alone in the vastness of existence. In so doing, you are corroding the premise of existence. Rather than accept the importance and inevitability of the displeasurable things every person will journey through, you manufacture a false personal God. Rather than act, you sit and wait with faithful eyes towards the clouds. You delight in your VIP status, a deluded belief that you've control over the uncontrollable. Your actions are no more sophisticated than the belief that human sacrifices can be offered to gods in exchange for rain. When you ask God to extend mercy over a dying relative, what do you wish? Are you praying to make him aware of the situation and that you prefer your loved one to be well? Do you believe that God will be touched by your words and realise he'd made a mistake for inflicting the disease? Do you believe that God works on democratic principles, believing that if he receives a significant number of prayers akin to yours, prayers with passion and belief, then he'll be compelled to act, thus alleviating your sorrow, intervening in his perfectly causal and logical universe because you have been innately motivated to want your relative to live? Or perhaps you believe that God acts as a benevolent benefactor. If he's suitably inspired by one particular prayer, asking for something profound and selfless from somebody that really believes with all their heart, then he will succumb. Assuming an omnipotent God is like a politician or kindly benefactor reveals a contemptible conceit. You are arrogant enough to assume you can persuade your God to act in your interests, halting the inevitable logic and perfection of nature. Acts that must have been penciled in the omniscience of God's diary since the beginning of time. People pray in absolute expression of their love, anger, guilt, worship, despair and forgiveness to a God that can only be emotionless. You cannot appeal to God's human side. Why do you believe that God cares about the pain and suffering of your relative as you would? Just as God's creation of life on this planet is predicated by the harshness of a predator-prey, kill-or-be-killed philosophy with all its perceived cruelty, disease and death, despite being displeasurable to us, are essential to life and existence. You suggest you are dedicated to honouring and praising your God through your books and worship, yet you suggest that your all-powerful deity is an error and his creation is flawed. Your prayers are steeped in selfishness. Your prayer is not to comfort your relative, but to give you comfort. Prayer's self-interest extends to the puerile. You pray for your football team to win because you believe God cares for your team's aspirations as you do. You hope the words submitted are more persuasive than the opposition's prayers. You pray for God to hold off the rain while you have a picnic in a park. You pray for rain so that your prize-winning garden won't dry. Your desire to feel controlled and supported blows simple logic. To say that God is uncaring of your plight in life is inaccurate. He can neither be caring nor uncaring. All situations are completely divorced from him. Everything that exists is inevitable and ultimately emotionally benign. Prayers are ignored because life will always continue to run following cold, impassive science, regardless of any emotional attachment that may accompany situations and regardless of your eloquence. The emotions you are hostage to simply spread a spectrum, from euphoria to depression, from pain to pleasure, from love to anger, and not from God to the devil. We are all compelled to avoid things associated with pain and death, not because they should not exist, but because they are harmful to our existence. Life must die, pain must be felt, and sadness will continue to be endured. If the universe was created, then its architect will be unencompassably beyond reproach. Do not wish to contrive and manufacture life based on your simplistic, immature reasonings. Accept it. It is perfect. We exist.